gives money to Democrats. So they're trying to destroy the teachers union. So Joe Rogan does it, Tim Pool does it, every Republican politician does it, and then I'm supposed to care about your goddamned feelings as you encourage people to murder gay people day in and day out? He said it. He talked about how Club Q were groomers after they were massacred. The right wing are monsters. And
wait a minute. What in the world is wrong with this guy? Oh boy. All right. TYT, they call the Young Turks. 5-point-something million subscribers, so obviously people listen to them a lot. I don't know much about them apart from Anna Kasparian, if I'm saying her name okay. I did a reaction video to one of the things that she was talking about when she mentioned God's name and so on, and I felt the need to speak about that. I don't know much about them, but this video came across my feed and I saw part of that video and I'm like, what in the world am I listening to? So this is Anna Kasparian and his name is Sank or Sink what? I'm not up for all this stuff, man, I'll tell you. Sank you something? Sank Uger? Okay, so they are talking about supposedly a comment that Tim Pool made. I've just found out about Tim Pool recently. For those of you who don't know, I'm new to this all political realm and things, and I'm more like searching and trying to understand what's happening. So I'm discovering different people. So Tim Pool is one of those ones that I saw on Joe Rogan talking about, talking about censorship and so on with Joe Rogan and things like that. That's kind of how I was introduced to him, but I've heard about him. Yeah, so let's listen to this discussion here. I'm not sure if it's a discussion. It seems like it's an emotional rant. But anyway, you get the point as you listen to that. So let's hear what this is about.
So, okay, here comes the right wing. Kurt Schlichter on Twitter. I don't think we have to tolerate pedophiles because some a-hole shot up a gay bar. Frankly, a lot of people trying to convince us we need to tolerate pedophiles seem to be happy to use any excuse to silence our opposition.
I'm sure he had that take when it came to getting Roy Moore elected in the Senate in Alabama.
No,
right?
Look, the right wing loves pedophiles.
They love it.
And I'll explain that in a second. So then Tim Pool responds, because there's no end to the depravity of right-wing media. He says, we shouldn't tolerate pedophiles grooming kids. Club Q had a grooming event.
How is it a grooming event? It's a drag show at a, mind your own goddamn business. There's no kids there. Consenting adults can do whatever the hell they please. They don't need your goddamn permission. Oh, do we need permission from grifters now to enjoy our adult lives? Is that what we need? I need permission from Beanie Boy Tim Pool to go to a drag show?
And by the way,
shut up and sit down, Tim. How about that? How about that? Always involved in everyone's personal life and personal business. Didn't say a peep when it came to Roy Moore fondling 13-year-old girls and molesting them. Not a peep, because it's all about political power. It's all about getting your guys elected.
Roy Moore, what did he do? Comment below. I want to do some digging about that, but I'm not even sure if that's necessary. But okay, I mean, they're coming at Tim Pool pretty strong here. I'm wondering if what Tim Pool said is also being taken out of context, or are they reading too deep into this?
Into Congress, and don't give me any of that garbage about how, no, I'm not on the right, I'm not on the right. I just spew right-wing propaganda all day and all night. I'm not on the right. Shut up and sit down.
That. I'm not debating that. He's a monstrous right winger. He's a terrible, terrible person. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, look, I'm jaywalking, I'm progressive, but I think we should all gay people are pedophiles and groomers, and we should all attack them and just do all these horrible things so we can goad our lunatic audience. And yes, Tim Pool, Matt Walsh, Tucker Carlson, you all have lunatics in your audience, and you weaponize them, and you know it. I mean, look at him.
Why would you say that? I mean, how do you prove that? That's some very dangerous rhetoric you're saying here. I've listened to all of these people. Lunatic exists everywhere. Some of them go to church because there are some people that are lunatics. So what do you mean that they weaponize people? What does that actually mean? How do you actually prove these statements? And why would you even go as far to make these statements? That is very disturbing.
I'll finish the tweet to be fair. How do we prevent the violence and stop the grooming, he says. Oh, in other words, well, I didn't quite like the way he murdered all those people, but hey, I really like the fact that he attacked these people that I'm calling groomers based on nothing. I mean, he said it, Club Q had a grooming event. He said, it's not a goddamn grooming event, you monster. Okay, so what is a drag queen? A drag queen is someone who dresses in a way you don't like.
It's a
You're changing the definition here. Dressing in the way you don't like. Let's be honest. A drag queen is a man who dresses like a woman, who performs primarily for adults, and sometimes they do things for children. So when they do things for children, it's very concerning. I can understand why the word groomer comes up, because why does a man dressing like a woman is given rights and privilege to read books to them? What value does that add to the child's life or to the children that are listening to this? Why couldn't the men, why couldn't a father just read books to those children? Why couldn't a mother or a librarian or a teacher does that? Why a drag queen has to be the one doing this? These are good questions, because I just haven't heard any answers concerning to the purpose of drag queen reading and performing in front of children. What value does that actually add? If it's not grooming, what exactly are they doing in these positions in front of kids? These are good questions to ask. But this guy is, his name is Sank. Now I know who he is. I've seen him before. But he's an emotional wreck.
Are you insane? Are you insane? Why do you care how they dress? Why do you care? It has nothing to do with kids.
You should go.
Maybe we don't like the way you goddamn dress with your stupid dumb beanie, okay? So what is it? Oh, should we call you groomer, pedophile? And then say, oh, I know somebody should do something to stop Tim Pool. He's wearing a beanie. He's a monster. He probably molests little kids because of his stupid beanie. Okay, we don't do that because unlike you, we're not trying to get people killed. Unlike you, we're not monsters who are constantly attacking people who are gay.
What do you mean? That is some crazy rhetoric. That is wild. What do you mean? Tim Pool is trying to get people killed because he wrote a tweet? Something on Twitter? How do you go as far to say something like that? What evidence and proof do you have? This is deadly, man. Now, this is the kind of conversation that can get people killed. The way he's talking, that's deadly. That will rile someone up and make you want to go hurt a person like Tim Pool, Matt Walsh, or Tucker Carlson. That's the conversation that I will say make me want to feel angry inside. Although I'm holding back. And some people will listen to this and act according to that. That to me is the type of conversation that is deadly. This is the kind of stuff I would refer to as hate speech. While he looks like he's defending, but he's like sending wild dogs after these people. That is some scary stuff this man is doing. That's not okay. That's very deadly. That's deadly.
And in the LGBTQ community, I'm sick of these right wingers. Look at it, they're almost celebrating it. I mean, he nearly brought goddamn pom-poms to the shooting.
Listen, if you have problems
He brought pom-poms to the shooting. All these extra.
with men dressing as women or men dressing in drag, you know, first thing I would do as a right winger is I'd clean my own room, okay? Why don't you go have a conversation with Steven Crowder, who never misses an opportunity to dress as a woman, which I have no problem with, but clearly he has an affinity for it. And you guys seem to think anyone who dresses in drag is somehow a groomer. So why don't you go have a conversation?
Well, I mean, I don't agree with men dresses as women. That's something that shouldn't be happening. But those who do it, it's different when you do it to perform for children. Especially like drag queens or people who actually performs for adult, like a stripper, they're in the same category. And there's a lot of things happening in drag shows that I can't even speak about on this channel. So when you have the same people performing for the children, I mean, it's kind of weird. Would you be okay with having strippers performing in front of little kids? You would think that's a little weird, right? A stripper on a stripper pole, wouldn't that be a little bit extreme? That children shouldn't be exposed to that, but you have a drag queen doing the very thing, and we say that's okay. Like, that's weird though.
With your groomer buddy, Steven Crowder.
But the right wing are disproportionately groomers and pedophiles. So let's be super.
How is that? This guy, he jumps into some serious conclusion, and he has barely any evidence to prove anything.
The right wing are disproportionately groomers and pedophiles. So let's be super clear. I mean, let's talk about what do we know about the giant cases of pedophilia in this country. Number one is Catholic priests. One of the most.
That's true. That's true. But the attitude of Catholic priests is not so much of a political thing. It's religious in some of the things that they do and their vows of abstinency and so on, which I totally disagree with because it's not biblical, and it does create an environment for pedophile because these priests, they have their passions and so on that they can't control, and kids end up becoming somewhat of a victim to these relentless passion. But I totally disagree with that. I've spoken against it. But I don't think it has to be so much with political, because Catholic priests, I guess what he's saying is most Catholics are Republicans. Well, they're more pro-choice, they're pro-life, and a lot of them, and so on. I can understand that. But you're still generalizing though, you know. You're generalizing, you're not necessarily making a good point here. You can't say just because there's a group of people that are pedophile automatically means most right-wing people are pedophile. If I were to say that about Democrats, because some Democrats are okay with LGBT and transitioning children and mutilate their genitals and so on, doesn't necessarily mean all Democrats actually believe that. You know what I'm saying? That's like you're reaching too far. You're going too deep with your analogy here, and you're not really doing this with a balanced perspective. And again, there's a lot of emotional stuff behind this man's way of approaching the matter. It is very emotionally driven individual, and that's actually very bad, because if you're gonna talk about something like this, as sensitive as they are, you gotta keep your emotions in check, because you're talking about human beings and you do not want to start defaming character here. Defamation is a serious thing. You shouldn't be doing that.
Most conservative professions in America, right-wingers, Republicans, Catholic priests, and they're always constantly talking about, oh yeah, a Catholic priest said that Nancy Pelosi or Joe Biden couldn't have communion. Catholic priests are the best, they say. And meanwhile, they're the worst pedophiles in the entire country.
And the Boy Scouts, by the way.
Boy Scouts,
which
they
is
love the Boy Scouts.
Right wing compared to the Girl Scouts.
Nests of vipers and pedophiles and groomers, okay? And the right wing's like, yes, I love how they molest the little kids like that. Go get them, Boy Scouts, go get them, priests. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, you are wrong, because that is not exactly how it goes. He is such an extreme. He is emotionally driven. he lacks common sense and is angry. And to me, I just don't understand how people actually sit down and listen to this guy. I don't know him like that, and I'm guessing as one of the few videos that I'm listening, I've heard him before. He was like somewhat balanced in some things. Now I'm hearing him talking like this. I don't want to judge the person just because he's having a moment, right? Because there's much more to a person than just, but a video like this, I don't even know why they even keep that on their website. You should take this video down saying, I lost it. I had a horrible reaction to this whole thing. Because he looks horribly bad. The entire channel looks bad right now. At least in my eyes, you know. He looks horrible.
You guys love the Boy Scouts and Catholic priests. You never criticize them. Well, okay, Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, Donald Trump says he's a great friend of mine. He said, I know he likes them young. He said, I know he likes them young. He said it.
Yep.
And he wished Ghislaine Maxwell well twice after she was arrested. The biggest groomer in American history. And as president, from the podium, he's like, oh, I wish her well.
Was that true? Did Trump say something like this about, you know, that he likes them young and so on in reference to that? If it is, what was also the context? I have a lot more questions about that. I can't run with this because this guy says a lot of stuff here that just don't make sense, so I can't. There's a lot of emotional rant happening here, so I have to be careful how much of his words I take for real.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Tim Pool, did you say, hey,
No.
Donald Trump is a monster who supports pedophiles and groomers?
Well,
no,
Donald
because
Trump's his daddy, right?
Yeah.
He's your daddy, right? Tim Pool, you love your daddy. Daddy can do no wrong. Daddy can go ahead and wish Ghislaine Maxwell and whoever he wants well, knowing full well that this woman was standing trial for literally grooming young girls and women to be molested and sexually assaulted and in some cases raped by Jeffrey Epstein. But your daddy is the one who wished Ghislaine Maxwell well, so that's okay. That's okay.
Biggest pedophiles in American politics, Dennis Hastert, former Republican Speaker of the House, Mark Foley, another Republican who tried to molest the kids who were interns and pages in Congress, and every step of the way, all the Republicans circle the wagons. Roy Moore, oh, our molesters are awesome, they say. Please vote for our molesters and our pedophiles, Republicans say. Republicans, you're guilty.
The real issue here is that not only is there's a lot of emotion and passion behind this man, but he lacks self-control. He has such a hate for Republicans that he is generalizing a lot of people here in ways that he shouldn't be doing, because that's not okay. Because you putting everybody in a basket here, and you just smearing the character of everyone. These are very strong, overarching, extreme umbrella statements you're making here. You gotta be careful how you filter this language, because if I were him, I would really I would just stop, because the more he talks, the more they talk, they make themselves look really, really bad. At least in my eyes, I'm losing all kind of respect for you talking like this, because you just lack common sense. You lack common sense. That's very inhumane and very unbalanced, and there's very little evidence that they're proving apart from just being angry, full of wrath and rage. That's just such a turn off to me. I'm not even sure if I should finish this video.
Okay, so you don't like it? Does that hurt your feelings? Meanwhile, you call gay people groomers nonstop, and you don't care about their feelings. Now they're doing another talking point. All teachers are groomers and pedophiles. Why? Because the teachers union gives money to Democrats. So they're trying to destroy the teachers union. So Joe Rogan does it, Tim Pool does it, every Republican politician does it. And then I'm supposed to care about your goddamned feelings?
You're allowed to curse like this on this channel? But also, takes God's name in vain so many times. Oh, the thing is, so this is an insult on Temple. The goal is to just insult the man. That's just crazy. Like, anyway, people actually listen to these people. Like, there are over 5 point something million people listening to people talking like this?
As you encourage people to murder gay people day in and day out?
Where do they encourage people to murder? Like, where is that coming from? I have never heard that. And I'm familiar with some of these people, and I'm not trying to defend them, because if they're wrong, for those of you who know me, I'll call them out, because to me, I don't care. I will listen to both sides, and whoever's making sense, I will applaud you. And if you're not making sense, I will go after you. I've even gone after Matt Walsh when I think he was saying something that wasn't right. I went after Michael Knowles from the way he approached certain matters. But the thing is, where do they encourage people to kill LGBT persons, or where is that? I will like to know. Please let me know. Is there any video where this was said? Where do you get that? Because they oppose the lifestyle doesn't mean they are calling for people to hurt them. To me, that's you're reaching here. You're going too far with this. This is defamation. You gotta be careful. This you are due for a lawsuit, because you maligning somebody's character here and taking their words out of context, and you're going too far with this, and that's not okay. That should not be allowed. That's what I would refer to as hate speech. That's the kind of speech I would say. That's not okay.
He said it. He talked about how Club Q were groomers after they were massacred. The right wing are monsters.
Did you guys hear about the Walmart shooter that happened the day after? Have you noticed that didn't get any attention? And what happened at Club Q was really sad. Like I've said, I've lost a friend from there. Okay, my son's uncle passed away from there. So you gotta understand, that's close family thing, and I'm glad that they're getting enough airtime and is being talked about to address the issue. But have you noticed that Walmart shooter that happened in Chesapeake? There was nothing. I'm guessing, is it because he's black? Is it because the Walmart people are not as valuable as LGBT persons? Why it doesn't get barely gets any attention, and they don't get as passionate. It to me something. There has to be a narrative there has to be something behind this, because why do you magnify one and downplay another? It's my question.
Right now, the number one reason they constantly talk about pedophilia is because it's going through their heads. Non-stop, they're thinking about kids.
All right, this guy is a lunatic. He is sick. Like, he should go see a psychologist. Like, if I could talk to him, I would say, Sank, Uger, whoever you are, please stop going on TV. Go see a psychologist. I think this political stuff has got into him. I don't think he realized how much hatred is in his heart. This is actually sad to see. This is a man that is sick. For you to say the reason they talk about groomers or pedophilia is because it's in your head, and that is crazy to me. That's crazy talk.
I guarantee it. The reason Tim going through their heads. Non-stop, they're thinking about kids. I guarantee it. The reason Tim Pool wears a beanie is because he's trying to contain the pedophilia that's in his head.
All right, I'm done. I'm done. What? That's just nonsense. You say Tim Pool wears a beanie because he's trying to contain the pedophilia that's in his head? I'm not gonna listen to this. This is nonsense. I don't know why people actually subscribe to this and listen to this guy talking. They listen to Anna and Sank talking like this. They actually sit down and listen to these guys. Line of reasons. That's a chat. This is the type of YouTubers that make you sick. This is the type of YouTubers that will drive you crazy. That's the type of YouTubers that would make you want to hurt somebody. Too much passion and emotion, too much hatred, and too much anger. There is no way I can run with this. There's no reason here. There's barely any intellectuals. There is no understanding. There's no compassion. There is no, let me address the matter in a way to expose and give a sharp rebuke, but at the same time to speak in a way that is relevant to people, you know, make sense of the matter. No, that's not what I got. I got nothing but anger and resentment and bitterness and revenge and lack of self-control. That is sad, and I can't keep listening to this. It's not even good for my spirit. Let me share something with you, and I'm done. This is sad. Now, look at what the Bible says. Let me see if I can, let's use the Amplified Bible, which I don't use very. It says, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. He that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. That's the point right there. So it's not a matter of how loud you can get and how crazy you can get. The question is, can you be slow to anger? Can you make your point and do it in a way that makes sense? Can you be angry and sin not? Can you actually can you voice your opinion, control your emotion at the same time? To me, that takes work, because listening to them is like it was total nonsense. It was full of rage and wrath and anger, and I can't I can't do that. That's not good for my psyche, and I can't enjoy that. So the question is, can you rule your spirit? In other words, it is better to rule your own spirit than to take over a city. So think about that. Like, God compares a man who controls his spirit is actually more powerful than a man who conquers an entire city. That is to the extent of self-control God is speaking about. Can you be slow to anger? There are times you want to be mad about matters. You might have reasons to be mad, but can you control your anger? You know? Can you control yourself? And without the Spirit of Jesus Christ, this is impossible. And I think these people, they not only they lack common sense, and I mean, I think Anna was a bit better, but Sank, that guy, whoever he is, he needs serious help. He needs serious help. And I'm not saying this to be disrespectful. Something's wrong with him. Like, they really need to look at him and say, Sank, you might need to go see a psychologist, go see a therapist or counselor or something, because there's something really wrong with you as an individual, and that should be a concern. I'm actually concerned for him, because that's a soul for whom Jesus died. My heart breaks for him, but he needs to see a doctor. Anyway, friends, thank you so very much for listening. I didn't mean to bring this to you. That was tough for me just to listen to. I couldn't finish the video. I couldn't finish that. All right. Like and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon for more. Until next time, and as always, remember to look unto Jesus to live by faith. Have a good one. Bye.